organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Red Card. Members of the United States women's national soccer team are challenging their home country.
Plus, Boogie Nights, a University of Iowa student group, is breaking in their dancing shoes for this upcoming weekend.
Tornadoes touching down in Oklahoma. We have the raw footage coming up in the weather studio.
Out with the old and in with the new.
Some athletes are leaving Iowa and moving on to the next step in their careers. We'll tell you who later in sports.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Maria Palladino.
And I'm Cole Johnson.
Business owners on Washington Street will soon see a lot of construction outside their stores, and many are not too happy. The project aims to improve the appearance of downtown Iowa City. It's scheduled to start on April 11th and be completed before the fall semester. Some believe the project could be on tough smaller businesses in the area because of the long construction period. Iowa City Interim City Manager Jeff Fruin said he understands the concerns businesses may have, but they will try their best to finish the project on time.
One student organization is putting its best foot forward this weekend. The UI Breakers are a dance-based group who specialize in break dancing. Daily Iowan TV's Ryan Scott previews the group's dance competition this Saturday at the Iowa Memorial Union.
I Oughta Rec Allegiance is an event 2 years in the making. The UI Breakers organized the event. They are a student group that focuses specifically on breakdancing.
We're really unbiased in the way that we express ourselves in our artistic craft.
Charles Trong, the president of the UI Breakers group, told us what makes breakdancing and hip-hop so important to his group.
We have full-time jobs, some of us are students, etc. We still make time to come and do what we love.
One of the club's newest members is Cosmos, who joined last semester. He talked to us about his experience with the UI Breakers.
They often teach me something and make me make progress. And not only them, but also lots of people in this club, they often help me to make me learn some new moves.
A common theme I discovered amongst this group is respect. Upon arriving to practice, members take the time to greet each member through either a handshake or fist bump.
Like a universal hip-hop thing, you know, we show each other respect all the time. After a battle, you always see dancers shaking hands.
I Oughta Rec Allegiance will be taking place this Saturday from 4 to 11 p.m. right here in the second floor ballroom of the IMU. What is so unique about this event is that it puts a new spin on dance battles. The first round of this event is 2v2. Here's a twist though. Any pair that advances beyond this round is then paired up with another random pair to form a team of 4 to compete with in the later rounds. According to UI Breakers, this battle format is meant to promote the essence of the dance: unity, going all out, innovation, and having fun. Reporting from the second floor ballroom of the IMU, Ryan Scott, Daily Iowan TV.
A 5-year lawsuit between Iowa City's biggest landlord company, Apartments Downtown, and 14,000 tenants has reached settlement. It says that all 2010 and 2014 tenants would receive $65 for every year they rented from Apartments Downtown. This could cost Apartments Downtown more than $1 million. The final ruling on the case will take place in July, where people and both sides can raise their final objections.
The Rose Oaks apartment complex in Iowa City is kicking its tenants to the curb. The building needs major repairs from the ground up, forcing its current residents to the streets.
The apartment complex sent a letter to their tenants early last week outlining their plans. Daily Iowan TV's Becca Skadden explores how tenants can protect themselves from sudden homelessness.
Our goal is to go in there and replace all of those areas that are in serious need, and then also just upgrade the aesthetic qualities of the property and just make it a first-class facility for renters.
Due to the extent of the planned renovations, the facility is unable to renew the leases of its current tenants.
There will be a lot of demolition, a lot of tear up of the streets and surrounding landscape. We reached out to the Johnson County Affordable Homes Coalition early last week, and we're currently in talks with the different groups that associate themselves with that coalition to see if there's any vacancies in the area, or to see what we can do to help these tenants transition into a new living quarters.
With this situation happening right here in Iowa City, it's clear that this could happen to anyone. We checked in with Student Legal Services to see how you can prevent something like this from happening to you.
If you want to continue to live in a certain apartment, you would want to sign a lease renewal significantly before the end of the lease, because really, if it does come down to you have only 2 weeks left on your lease and your landlord comes and tells you, we're not renewing the lease because we're remodeling the apartment, there's very little that you could do at that point.
Reporting from the IMU, this is Becca Scadden for Daily Iowan TV.
Cole, looking out my apartment window today, I thought it was going to rain, but nothing ever came about.
Yeah, thankfully I was carrying all my equipment doing a story earlier, and glad we missed the rain. But let's toss it over to Zhao to see what's happening in the weather area. Zhao?
Thunderstorms slammed parts of the south, bringing the threat of possible tornadoes. 7 people were injured in the Oklahoma tornado, and the heavy winds were moving across the lower Mississippi River Valley. National Weather Service said the heavy rain may produce flash flooding in some areas. And here in Iowa City, we'll also see a gloomy weekend, but nice temperatures. Friday morning, we'll see partly cloudy skies at around 39 degrees. Moving into the Friday afternoon, we can expect the temp to rise slowly to 46 degrees, and later in the night, the temps will drop down to 38 degrees. Taking a look at our 6 days extended forecast. Saturday, we can see partly cloudy skies with a high of 45 and a low of 27. Sunday, the temps will jump up to the low 70s. Monday, the temps will stay in the mid-30 range, and Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures will rise up to around high 40 and low 50 range. That's your weather, Iowa City. Back to you guys.
Some American students chose to spend their spring break giving back. The students rolled up their sleeves to restore a Civil War cemetery. The Chalmette National Cemetery near New Orleans was created in 1864, and most of the 8,000 headstones were covered in algae, stained with soot, or broken. Flooding from Hurricane Katrina in 2005 also took its toll on the cemetery. 800 volunteers answered the call from the National Trust for Historical Preservation to preserve the hallowed space.
The University of California, Irvine will soon be the first public school to offer scholarships to e-gamers. The 10 academic scholarships are part of a plan to create a state-of-the-art venue this coming fall in the campus's Student Center. The space will include gaming computers and a stage for head-to-head matchups with Skyping capabilities. According to the university, 89% of UCI's student body say they support the creation of a competitive e-gaming team.
The United States women's national soccer team is taking their home country to court. On Thursday, 5 players, including stars Hope Solo, Carrie Lloyd, and Alex Morgan, filed a wage discrimination lawsuit for the team against the U.S. Soccer Federation. They say a massive pay gap exists between the women's and men's national teams. The women generated $20 million of additional revenue than the men in 2015, but were paid 4 times less. The action was filed by Jeffrey Kessler, a famous sports lawyer who is also representing Tom Brady against the National Football League. The women's national team won their 3rd World Cup in 2015, defeating Japan 5-2 in the final. Cole, this is definitely a story to keep tabs on.
Yes, very true, Maria. And Katie and Taylor are standing by in the sports studio with a little more on what some of the team's star players are saying on the matter.
Thanks, Cole and Maria. Yes, it will be very interesting to see what comes from the lawsuit and how or if things will change in the future.
Yes, and earlier this Thursday morning, the team starting forward Alex Morgan shared her thoughts on the subject via Instagram post. Morgan said, "We decided to do this for all of the little girls across the country and around the world who deserve to have a voice. If we don't leverage the voice, we are letting them down."
Obviously, this topic has been a hot topic across the world lately. Women's versus men, pay. This could be very interesting how it evolves.
Absolutely, definitely something needed to be said, and it's a good thing these ladies have stepped up.
Exactly. Switching gears a little, we will dive into what's happening in the sports world here at the University of Iowa.
That's right, and while basketball season may be over for the Iowa Hawkeyes, there is still plenty going on within that team.
The Iowa men's basketball team says goodbye to 5-star seniors in Jared Uthoff, Anthony Clemens, Mike Gazelle, OK Yuka, and Adam Woodbury. But 2 more goodbyes have been added to that list. Freshmen Brandon Hutton and Andrew Fleming.
Head coach Fran McCaffrey announced on Wednesday that both Fleming and Hutton have been granted a release from their scholarships to transfer from the University of Iowa. Both freshmen thanked coach and their teammates for their experience this past year at Iowa and the Hawkeye fans for welcoming them.
Brandon Hutton redshirted this past season with the Hawkeyes, and Andrew Fleming entered 11 games this past season. Both have expressed that they want to play a larger role for their future teams.
Definitely going to be a huge transitional year for the Hawkeyes, losing seniors and those transfers.
Exactly, and with the Peter Jock situation going on, not sure what will evolve out of that with the NBA, but it could be very interesting next season.
Absolutely. Now, the men's basketball team is not the only Iowa team concerned with the loss of their seniors from the past season, as the Iowa football team hosted their pro day last week, and throughout spring ball, they will be trying to fill the holes left behind by those seniors, and especially those entering the NFL draft.
The last NFL draft, we saw former offensive lineman Brandon Sheriff go in the first round. This year, there are 2 more Iowa offensive linemen who could easily see themselves in the draft. But this has left a void on the upcoming season for Iowa. I tell you how this O-line is shaping up.
One of the strongest positions to ever evolve out of the Iowa football program has always been the offensive line. And with the NFL draft quickly approaching, Jordan Walsh and Austin Blythe could easily see themselves in one of the first 6 rounds. But as their lives move on, so does Iowa's program. But who is going to fill those 2 players' shoes? Well, with a lot of experience from last year, this new offensive line shouldn't have a problem.
Those guys did a great job last year, and I don't think we're going to be able to replace them by any means. But I mean, we've got guys in there that can do that job, and they're working to be the best players that they can be.
One of those guys being Cole Croston himself. Croston is one of 2 seniors on this offensive line, but when injury plagued the team last season, Croston played his role, the next man in.
We do the whole next man in mentality, and Ike went down, Boone went down. I was able to step in there and do my job, which was nice.
There is a new position job open on the offensive line, though, center. But as of right now, redshirt sophomore Sean Welsh is taking over that position.
They just have me at center right now, and I've just been practicing at center. But yeah, it's going all right, and I really enjoy it.
He's doing a great job for just stepping in there for this temporary period, and playing center is probably the toughest position on the field. You got to know everything.
There's no way of telling if the position will be permanent, though.
I couldn't tell you for sure. I mean, that's really up to him. I'm just in there right now.
Ike Bodiger will also return to Iowa's O-line, as well as Boone Myers. But one player missing this spring season is true freshman James Daniels. Off-season surgery is to blame for that. But once Daniels gets back in the mix, there's no doubt surrounding this position. Reporting outside the Iowa football complex, Taylor Brooks, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
They also lost 2 tight ends, and tight end coach LeVar Woods talked to the press about that loss.
This is a different year. We lost 2 seniors last year in Jake Doozy and Henry Krager-Coble, 2 outstanding young men, 2 guys that epitomize what it means to be a Hawkeye and what it means to be a Hawkeye tight end. And they're going to be sorely missed over the next couple of years. Transitioning into this year, right, there's a guy named George Kittle who had some playing experience last year. Overall, the group is very, very young, and but it is a group that is hungry and ready and willing and able to come to practice every single day and work hard.
Iowa will hold an open spring football practice in Des Moines on April 8th at 6 p.m. and then have their last spring practice here on April 23rd in Iowa City.
But before then, plenty of other Iowa sports will be competing over the weekend.
Track and field, baseball, men's golf, and men's and women's tennis head out of town for road matches this weekend, while softball, soccer, women's rowing, and women's gymnastics compete right here in Iowa City.
Tune in to Daily Iowan TV on Sunday for updates on the weekend and a recap of the women's gymnastics NCAA regional competition.
That's all we have time for tonight in the sports studio. Cole Maria, back to you.
Thanks for joining us tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Please visit our website, dailyiowan.com. We'll keep you updated on all the latest news between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Maria Palladino.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Have fun this weekend, Iowa City.